So let me catch y'all up a little bit because I'm going to speed things up because I know it's a long way. I went back. Okay. So let me catch y'all up a little bit. So Shannon, who is the aunt of Naziah, it has now come about that her kid's father has now been arrested for criminal sexual conduct as well as premeditated first degree murder of Za'Niyah Harris. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to give him too much shine. I don't want to give him any shine. Like the focus needs to be on Za'Niyah Harris and justice for her. So, with that being said, it has come about that he is responsible. There was a preliminary hearing a few weeks ago, and they did bound him over for trial, so he will be going to trial. But a lot of things came out in that preliminary hearing. I mean, a lot of things came out. But before we get there, I do want to discuss, how this man had to register as a sex offender way before he even met Shannon. And she seemed to be okay with that. And that's why it's so important, women. It's so important that we work on us. It's so important that we build our self-esteem up, because if not, if she would have been where she needed to be in life, I don't think that she would have accepted this from this man. But sometimes when we're so low in life, we accept things that we wouldn't otherwise accept if we were in a better place in life. Does that make sense? So all I'm saying is I think that she accepted this. I think she knew about these things and she was okay with it. So let me play y'all a clip of what she said on this podcast when asked, did she know he was a sexual predator?
Whatever Jarvis did is what you said. Whatever he did, he did. What did you say? How did you say that?
I said whatever he did, that was on him. Those are my correct words.
Okay, that was on him. I was just trying to clear that up. But okay, so with that being said, apparently this man has had a history of this. So did you know about him being on the sex offenders list, or any kind of activity about that? Like, had you even heard of anything like that before out of him?
When I met him, when I was 19, he did tell me his background. He did tell me his background. Out of doubt. He gave me the decision if I wanted to pursue a relationship.
So given that his background was sex offender involving a child, right? And you still made the decision to talk to him?
One, I was 19, and two, if society can give you a second chance, why can't someone else give you a second chance as well?
Did y'all hear that? So yeah, that there, it definitely just comes from people who, definitely have a low self-esteem, because women, we have to know that I don't even care, there are some things that you just don't get second chances from. And I'm sorry to be the one to have to say this, but sexual predator, and you have children, you have girls, you're just introducing trauma into their life unnecessarily. Like, there's just some things that we have to put a stop to. You don't forgive this type of stuff when you have these type of people in your life. You do. I mean, you can't. You got to learn to love you enough to understand that this is not acceptable. We don't forgive that type. As a woman, you're okay with what he did. No, yeah. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Y'all can answer me in the comments. Would y'all have been able to do it? What do y'all think about it? When do we not give second chances in life? Also want y'all to keep in mind that when Za'Niyah came up missing, and she started reaching out to family members. Well, actually, she didn't reach out to family members. They had to find out on Facebook. that the little girl was even missing. She didn't reach out to family members. But Roxy, who you'll hear me mention later in this video, this is what she sent Roxy. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, I mean, the things she had to say about a child. So have been several podcasts, y'all, since, I mean, when I tell y'all I went back, I mean, I went back. But there has been several podcasts, and a lot of them podcasts is family members talking. I want to get you guys familiar with Kenya, and I want to get you guys familiar with Roxy Rocks. I want to give them women their flowers, even though a lot of people are attacking them right now. I can't attack them because people ask the craziest questions like, how do you not know what's going on with your family? Listen, I have a lot of family right now that I don't know what's going on with them. So I'm just going to be clear with that. I don't know everything. Any of my cousins right now, I probably couldn't tell you what's going on in their life, who they dating, how they dating them, and how long they've been dating. I'm probably unable to answer that. But with that being said, a lot of people are giving Roxy Rocks, I mean, they trying to give her the heat, and I just want to give her flowers, and I just want to say thank you, sister, because she flew in from Texas to kind of, get on this case, and that's very noble of her. So, with that being said, she has been very instrumental in trying to find Naziah. She has been very instrumental in getting information out about what was happening in that household, or not necessarily what was happening, but the things that she tried to get from the thing and the things that was being heard in the family. So apparently back in 2022, the boy, he there was something about a birthday party, and he went to the birthday party, and a little girl accused him of trying to touch her. This was back in 2022, y'all. 2022. This is how long ago this was. So the little girl said she wanted to go home, blah, blah, blah. It got out into the family, and Kenya, she put online, so we letting pedophiles in the family now. They reported it got took down. She put his picture and everything up. They reported it got taken down. So that happened. And then Janelle, which are other instrumental people, and Kiwana. Those two people were calling protective service. They were calling police. They were calling everybody. And they calls just went unnoticed, unanswered, unbothered. Like, okay, we can't prove it. Now, come to find out, they were, Shannon and her mom, Annette is her name, were telling the kids to say, oh, they just lied. So, when you question a kid, truthfully, CPS and DPD did what they can do. If the kid's not going to tell, I mean, it's not really nothing they can do. Do I think the investigation when you're dealing with something like this needs to be a little bit more thorough? Absolutely. We need to remove children from the home and talk to them. We don't need to let them sit in the face of their bullies, pretty much, because that's what adults who tell kids to lie and put fear in them, that's what they are. They're adult bullies to their children. So we don't need to allow them to be in the presence of their bully. So I do think that CPS and DPD could have did more. I absolutely do. However, they did not, and this is where we are. So we find out in court of all the things that fast forward to. I'm sorry. Let me hold up. Fast forward to September the 26th. I'm sorry, of 2024. There has been an announcement that yes, they were going to charge the boy with these crimes because they have come to the assumption that Naziah is no longer with us, and as well as the things that they found that she was sexually abused. Also in their findings, they did determine that Za'Niyah was possibly pregnant. They did see her when she went missing on January the 9th, 2024. She did get off of the school bus, but she walked right past her house, which was caught on a neighbor's Ring camera, as you guys can see right here. And then people have witnessed seeing her with him on the day that she went missing, which again was January the 9th, 2024. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, this is only the pre-trial hearing. It's not a trial. It's to determine if he will stand trial. So you will see all of that at the end of this video. And let's get back into it. So this, Kim Worthy announced that. And that's kind of where we at with that. So we get to the trial, honey. And when we get to this trial, baby, I'm like, let me tell you, I listened to all the trial. I listened to everybody's testimony. And when I tell you had the testimony of several girlfriends, and let me tell you, he got a type, right? I think I told y'all this before. He absolutely have a type. And his type is women with low self-esteem, women who don't take care of themselves, where to put himself in an environment that he can thrive in to do what he want to do, which is be a sexual predator. So this is the type of women that he has gotten a hold of. They all look alike. They all look similar. Those, this is just what he is. And I'm not here to talk about anybody looks, because like I told y'all before, we all ugly to somebody. But at the end of the day, if y'all see the women, y'all will get what I mean. And again, I'm not talking about their looks. I'm simply talking about a type. Okay. So, so we're going to go to court where we listen to the detective read these messages. I want to tell y'all her testimony was about 2 hours long. I broke it down to y'all. I don't know how long, probably about 30 minutes of her reading these texts. And I want to remind you guys that now I do want to warn you guys, these messages are pretty graphic. They're extremely graphic. Like some of them, I broke it down to the parts that I'm like, wow, like. And another thing I want to remind you guys is these messages started from what they can pull, because most of the messages were deleted, so they had to extract it from a phone. But from what they can pull, these messages started in September the 27th of 2022. I want to put this in you guys' mind as well. On September the 27th, 2022, Za'Niyah had only been 12 for 11 days. So she was right outside of 11, okay? So, just keep in mind, these messages are very graphic.
We got to hear some of these text messages in the interview, but going through them, that's it. We're going to start now. Let's start with
September 27, 2022, 1:54 a.m. She sent a message, "Where we doing it at your choice." Immediately following that text, a message is received to Za'Niyah, to this text now number, from Mr. Butt's phone that says, "You tell me." 9:27, 1:55 a.m. A message is replied to Jarvis, says basement. 1:56 a.m. A message is sent to Za'Niyah from Mr. Butt's phone that says, "You sure?" At 1:56 a.m. a message is sent to Za'Niyah from Za'Niyah to Mr. Butt saying, "or job." At 1:57 a.m., a message is sent to Za'Niyah from Mr. Butt's phone saying, "Can you suck my dick, please?" The message immediately following that from Mr. Butt's phone to Za'Niyah, and make sure you erase the messages. Still September 27th, 1:59 UTC, a message is sent to Mr. Butt that says, "Okay, that is what I planned to do." Another message is immediately following that at 2:01 to Mr. Butts. You turn me on just looking at you, and then there's a bunch of letters, which possibly it's maybe an image that was sent that doesn't capture on the messages. 2:02 a.m. Neziah sends another message to Jarvis. What time to be in the basement? 2:03 a.m. he replies and sends her a message that says, go change your clothes and take your panties off. Neziah replies to Mr. Butts and says the letter K. At 2:10 a.m., so 7 minutes later, a message is sent from Neziah to Jarvis's phone. I hear you. What you looking at? Jarvis replies back immediately to her saying the letter U. At 2:13 a.m. UTC, still on September 27th, Neziah sends Jarvis a message that says, I know, I'm finna sleep good. 2:25 a.m., Jarvis's phone replies back to her, come ride with me and Nye, N-I-Y. 2:25 a.m., she replies, did they say I can come? At 2:30 UTC, she sends him a message that says, I'm sorry, but love you. 2:30 UTC, he immediately replies back, come on. 2:31, Neziah replies, I can't, I'm going to get in trouble. The next message is at 2:35. She sends, when you come back, drop Nye off, pull your car down the street, and I'll come in the base, I'll be waiting. Then immediately after that, she sends, basement, please. Jarvis replies, okay. At 2:40, Jarvis replies, you in the basement yet? Immediately after that, Neziah replies back, yeah. Now we are the next day being, it's now September 28th, 2:28 a.m. UTC. She sends Jarvis a message that says, are we doing it tonight? I'm ready, fresh out the shower. The next message is a reply from him to her. Well, this is September 30th now at 1:25 a.m. UTC. He replies, yo. September 30th, 2:59, she replies, you coming over? She then sends another message directly after that, don't have school. At 3:07, a reply is received to Neziah from Jarvis saying, yep. She then replies, Kay, we'll be waiting. At 3:17 a.m., he sends another message, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, text me when you get here. At 3:21 a.m., this is still September 30th date, Jarvis replies and sends a message to her saying, outside.
Now, on Mr. Butt's phone, after that January 9th text to Neziah saying, okay, was there any other texts to Neziah's number after that date?
From Mr. Butt's phone?
Yes.
No.
Okay. There was no attempts to reach Neziah's number on Mr. Butt's phone?
There was no contact between Mr. Butt's phone and the text now number after that.
Okay. And In your role in this case, did you go through Naziah's kind of social media records and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. And since January 9th, 2024, have you been able to find anything as it relates, anything from Za'Niyah Harris on social media?
No. (2023) 12:08 28 seconds. He sends her a message with the letters WYA at 12:08 35 seconds. She replies school. 12:08 49. He sends her a message that says I'm at your house. At 12:09 and 4 seconds, she says, damn, we was just. Then immediately after that is another text that says there. Then at 12:11, she sends him, you bet not be in my room. At 12:12, she sends, I need another phone. At 12:13, she sends, I miss you. At 12:14, he sends her a message that says, I stole your panties. June 16, 2023, at 2:50 a.m. and 25 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, didn't I make you come faster than ever? On June 17, at 8:59 and 06 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, I'm sorry for making you mad, but do you ever think how I feel knowing that I can't have you to myself? 23rd, 2023 at 23:54 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis, the letter U, then you going to hit it from the back again with question marks. At the next day, which is now June 24th at 19:11 hours, he sends her a message that says, send me some pictures, please. At 19:20, she replies, don't you still got the other pics? At 19:47, he replies to that and says, no. At 20:19 hours, she sends to him, I will send some. June 26, 2023 at 16:31 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, call me when you have time. At 16:33 hours, he replies back to her, I want some pussy. At 16:33 hours and 50 seconds, she replies back to him, you can have some. At 16:39 hours and 41 seconds, he replies to Naziah, when? At 16:49 hours and 28 seconds, she sends to Jarvis, whenever you come get me. At 21:16 hours, she sends to Jarvis, call me, want to tell you something, SUM. At 21:24 hours, she sends a message to Jarvis that says, you can get some today. At 21:24 hours, she sends another message that says, you can get some pussy today.
And were any from that set deleted?
Yes, all of them.
All of them, okay.
June 27th at 7:55 UTC, there is a incoming call to Naziah from Jarvis that is listed as a missed call, and the name on here that she has this number saved is Bae for Life, BAE, the number 4, and then life. Then at 7:56, he sends her a text that says, are you naked yet? At 7:58, she replies to him and says, no, I don't want to get naked. At 7:59, she replies, are you mad that I didn't get naked? At 8:01 hours, he sends to her, I used to you telling me no. At 8:06, still on June 27th, he sends her a message that says, she sends him a message that says, come on, babe, I'm sorry, just not in the mood right now, I'm sorry.
Okay. And were those messages deleted?
Yes. On June 27th, now at 16:24 hours, he sends her a message that says, but I can't nut inside you, so it's different. At 16:25, she replies, why you can't? Didn't you do it before? At 16:25 and 40 seconds, he replies, but I had to buy a pill to do so. At 16:26, she replies to him, yeah, you right. At 18:46, all I tried to do is make you happy, but clearly I'm not enough for you. All I want is you to love me. At 00:16 hours, Jarvis replies to her and says, all of you. Immediately after that, your mind, body, and soul. At 00:17 hours, he sends to Neziah, the pussy, ass, mouth, legs, arms, face, and then he has the word everything in all caps. At 01:19 hours, she replies, oh, really? June 30th, at 22:18 hours, Jarvis sends to Neziah, I'm outside. Then the next message is at 23:36 hours, he sends to Neziah, go take them panties off. At 23:37 hours, Neziah sends, are we going to the room? 23:37, Jarvis replies, IDK, meaning I don't know. 23:38, she sends to him the letters PLS, or please. 23:38, he replies to her the letter Y. 23:39, she replies back and says, because we got more space. 23:39, he then sends a message to her that says, to do. She then immediately replies, to fuck, WYM, or what you need. Then immediately after that, she sends to him, we going or what?
And moving forward to July 1st. Oh, wait, first of all, were any of those messages just read deleted?
He sends a message to her that says, I'm trying to fuck. At 19:52, she replies back, okay. 34, she sends, you still coming or you was playing about trying to fuck? At 21:35, he replies back to Neziah, I'm serious.
And were those deleted?
Yes. July 2nd, 2023 at 15:46 hours, Jarvis sends a message to Neziah that says, can I get my dick sucked today? At 15:47, she replies, sure, no problem. 08, Jarvis says, I'm gonna sneak in, okay? At 17:08, Neziah replies back, why? 17:08, he says, who is up? At 17:09, she replies, everybody. At 17:09, Jarvis sends some type of photo to Neziah. Immediately after that, she replies, well, damn, I want to lay with you. Then at 17:10, from Neziah, are you here already? At 17:12, Shan told the kids that you said you was on your way, so they know you coming. At 17:13, Neziah sends, I want to see you. 17:21, Neziah sends, so am I just giving you head, or we fucking too, because looking at that picture made me horny. At 17:22, Jarvis replies to her, you tell me. 17:22 and 29 seconds, she says, I want to fuck too. Immediately after that, she says, so can we? And then at 17:22, 49 seconds, Jarvis replies back to her, yep.
And were those messages deleted?
Yes.
Okay. And now,
July 4th, 2023 at 15:43 hours, Za'Niyah sends Jarvis a message that says, in the shower right now, I'll text you when I get out. Jarvis then replies, hope you know that we fucking today. July 10th, 2023 at 16:41 hours. Za'Niyah sends to Jarvis, you trying to get up in this today? At 16:45 he replies, all the time. July 11, 2023 at 18:43 hours, Za'Niyah sends to Jarvis, I want to fuck. At 1900 hours he replies, when? At 2012 hours she sends the 3 letters NVM, or never mind. At 20:38 she sends, I took a shower. At 21:32 she sends, I be trying so hard not to think about you, but the dick too good not to think about you, and I miss you rubbing on my thigh. July 22nd, 2023 at 14:56 hours, Za'Niyah sends, bae, I want to fuck. Then at 14:57 he replies, work. Immediately after that he replies, I do too. 14:57 Za'Niyah replies, no you don't. 14:57 Jarvis replies, I do. Immediately after that Jarvis sends WYA, or where you at? 14:57 Za'Niyah sends, I'm at the crib. 14:57 hours and 57 seconds, Jarvis replies, come on. At 14:58, Za'Niyah replies, Shan and Nana went to Family Dollar. The next message says, I can't, I wish I could. At 14:58, Jarvis replies, how long are they going to be? At 14:58, Za'Niyah sends to him, IDK, or I don't know. The next message is, I'm so horny. Then at 14:59, she sends, I want a hug from you. At 15:01, Jarvis sends her a message that says, I'm on my way, with the exclamation point. I just got off the phone with Shan. They are at the barbershop.
and were those
Those
messages
messages were deleted, yes. July 25th, at 17:33 hours, Za'Niyah sends, I want to fuck today. At 17:33 hours, Jarvis replies back, come on. Then immediately after he replies, I'm by myself. At 17:33 she sends back to him, I can't RN for right now. At 17:34 Za'Niyah sends, after work can you call for me please? And those messages were all deleted as well. 14:33 Za'Niyah sends, my period haven't came at all. 14:36 she sends, hello, you there? With some question marks. 14:37 Jarvis replies to Za'Niyah, what you mean? At 14:38 Za'Niyah says, it have not came. 14:38 Jarvis replies to her, since when? Za'Niyah then sends at 14:38, 42 seconds, since I was in the hospital. The next message is, that was last month. I'm scared, I don't know, IDK, what to do. I have to go to the doctor's TM for tomorrow. At 14:41, Jarvis replies to Za'Niyah and says, you said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative. 14:41, she replies, it did. At 14:41, Jarvis then replies, so go get another one. At 14:42, Neziah tells him on a text, I can't, I have no money. After that, she says, you go get one. At 14:43, she says, you ain't scared to get a plan B, get a pregnancy test and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom. September 27th, starting at 21:26 hours, Neziah sends, but are we still on for Friday? At 21:31, Jarvis replies, what you mean? 21:38, she says, are we still on for Friday? At 21:49, Jarvis replies, yes. 21:49, Neziah says, the letter K. At 21:49, Jarvis then sends a text to her asking, what we doing though? At 21:49, she sends back, fucking. At 21:50, Jarvis replies, seriously? 21:50, Neziah replies, yeah, what else we gonna do? 21:50, Jarvis replies back to her, where? Neziah then replies back immediately and says, IDK, or I don't know, you pick somewhere. It now jumps to October 21st at 19:05 hours. Neziah sends, hey bae, I need that plan B today. At 19:07 hours, Jarvis sends her the letter Y. The next message isn't sent until October 22nd at 04:33 hours when Neziah replies back to him, WIMY. So at 22:28 she says, I don't what's your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby, and if I don't do them, I'm gonna get a F. 22:28 she says, if you keep ignoring me, you just gonna get no more pussy.
To January 9th of 2024.
January 9th, 2024 at 14:21, Neziah sent to Jarvis, don't forget, be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait. Then at 14:22, she sends, send okay if you've seen the message so I can delete your number. Then at 14:23, Jarvis replies, okay, and those messages were deleted.
And there was no further communication between Neziah's text number and Jarvis's number after January 9th, 2024, 1 year ago today.
Yes.
Annette, which is Neziah's grandmother, she spoke as well, right? She spoke about, I think the whole point of her testimony was to establish that Neziah did live with her, and she tried to, paint her. I just don't know about the grandmother, y'all. I just don't know. But in her testimony, she described, their daily routine.
Just generally, can you tell us about your morning routine with the kids, specifically Neziah, about getting them to school and things like that?
Sure. Okay. 6 a.m. That's when I get the children up. They usually get up, get dressed, prepare themselves. About 7:15, 7:20, we're basically saying prayer and we're loading up in the car. I'm dropping them off at school at 7:30. Breakfast starts at 7:30, and they like to eat breakfast at school.
And I want y'all to pay attention to this routine. Here's the tape of it here.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Get these kids out of where to go. Take this shade up. Right here. What are these stupid ass kids did that? Why y'all got this road fucked up in front of the door? I know y'all seen it. Here, put your socks on. Y'all saw the rug fucked up, so what's going on with your coat? You don't know how to zip up your coat? Well, y'all know. baby's coat. No. It's up under this shirt. It's up under that sweatshirt. Is you keeping that in school all day there? Is they gonna let you keep that on? Yes, sir. This is staying in here. So get your coat. Morning. You pretty ready to get slapped. It's cold as hell outside. You, wear your coat. Then I get pictures. If you don't take that hoodie off, that motherfucking coat, I don't give a fuck whether you can clean it or not. You're not walking out of here without a coat on. Let's go. You need a coat. And that coat that you wearing ain't yours no way. That's the one that was too, Ariel broke the zipper on. That's her. Why are you wearing too small coat? Because she couldn't find her, so she went up there and put that beige, remember that beige coat that both of them got during Christmas time? Ariel broke the zipper on hers. I never had it fixed. She the one that ran upstairs 2 days ago and put it on, which was okay. But of course you can't fit it. It ain't your coat. Well, it's time for everybody to say prayers.
Yeah, I have to laugh to keep from crying. But seriously, how do you go into cussing kids out and then say, let's pray? And then to set them up to go to school like that? How do you expect them to learn? How do you expect them to be productive? Like, it's just a sad case all the way around. And I don't understand how CPS is not looking at this. Some of the videos with Naziah in the house with chains on the refrigerator, that is neglect and abuse, okay? And finally, y'all, Judge Sabree, baby, she didn't come to play with them. She absolutely did not come to play with them. She told them exactly how she feel. And I mean, she did not hold them up. She told the family how they failed her along with other people, as well as what she had to say to the boy. So y'all listen to Judge Sabree from here.
I do agree this is a circumstantial case, and circumstantial evidence is sufficient for a bind over and even conviction. Today is January 9th, 2025, exactly 1 year, from the day Za'Niyah Harris disappeared. Before I get into the charges, and the main charge of premeditated first-degree murder, I have to speak on Za'Niyah Harris and the community who failed her. Cordell, aka King, and all the men who saw Jarvis Butts hanging out and always around these young girls, including Naziah, and his 9-year-old daughter going up to the shop to clean up his shop. The school counselor who never showed up, or the person who was supposed to show up if that counselor was absent, after Naziah was on the floor on the day she went missing, saying that she needed to speak to someone and speak to a counselor. There's no mention of CPS, but I wonder what their involvement was over the years, because this was not just a 1-year thing. There are text messages at least from 2022. To her adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris, whose testimony, in my opinion, was very questionable. I understand why the people put her on the stand to establish Naziah's residence and the houses on Bedford and the regular routine, to establish also that Naziah was not a runaway child, that she was not a bad kid. I do believe she adopted Naziah. I do believe that she had 6 kids in the house. I believe that Naziah had on a dark hoodie the day she went missing, and that she had on red and black Nikes that day. What is hard to believe is that the defendant never came into the house as she testified. And there was also a minor that testified that he did as well. Text messages that show between him and Naziah that he did in the basement, saying he was going to the shower, stealing her panties. He was always lurking around that house and asking for Janiyah and Za'Niyah, from what I know. I even thought about the breakfast routine and saying that all the kids like eating breakfast at school. Did they have a choice? I don't know. But to always send those girls up there to clean up the shop raises questions. And how were there two women in that house who have birthed children themselves who did not notice that Za'Niyah was pregnant, and I believe she was, and not having her period anymore? But then after hearing text messages today, begging Jarvis for pads as if she didn't have anyone else to give them for her. And what stood out the most was when Za'Niyah Harris stood on the stand, and she learned around 6 p.m. that Za'Niyah did not come home from school, and said she looked around for her and decided to wait until the next morning to call the police. Without a tear, without emotion, or any expression of being devastated. And to her Aunt Shannon, who also showed no emotion, expression of being devastated from Za'Niyah going missing. She stated that she had friends help look for Za'Niyah, but was directed to just wait until the morning to call the police. A grown woman who likely suspected something strange going on didn't feel the need to call the police either. They were both able to go to sleep at night without hearing from Za'Niyah or having any indication that she was coming home at night. And of course, the defendant, who I will get to in a minute. I don't know who else failed Za'Niyah, but the community did. As far as the people establishing probable cause, I will focus on count 1, as it's been stated that there is no contention with counts 2 and 3. In count 3, I will amend based off of the motion and the testimony I heard that Za'Niyah was 12 and not 13 at the time that Jarvis Butts had sexual intercourse with her. The prosecution is correct. You do not have to have a body to establish first-degree premeditated murder. It would have been a much shorter exam had her body been found, but this is where we are. In the last 365 days, no text messages. We all heard today and yesterday that she was very active and frequently texted. No social media for a year. We heard through testimony that she was also active on social media. No phone calls, which she was also able to do according to testimony. No physical sighting of her by anyone. She never came back to school. No one has seen her. Medical records dated from July 2014 to October 2023 indicated that she had no life-threatening medical issues that would lead to a natural cause of death. The black hoodie found in the area of 7 Muhlenberg with her DNA and blood on it. The holes in the hoodie consistent with some sort of struggle, violence, or weapon being used. And we know that there were no holes in that hoodie when she wore it to school. We saw a picture of her in a black hoodie on her last day that everyone saw her. I do believe her grandma testified truthfully about the sweatshirt that she had on and that was practically new. And the border agent who said that no evidence of animals would have destroyed the clothing or the shoes to possibly lead to animals tearing up that hoodie. The clear glasses found in the blue Nissan the day after she went missing. The behavior of the defendant when he snatched those glasses. They looked exactly like the glasses she had on in her last picture, according to the witness. The shoes that her brother described as the same shoes that were found also in the area of 7 Muhlenberg near the hoodie. While this is still probable cause, the evidence all points to Jarvis Butts. His locations, him being seen with her last, the abortion searches, the abrupt silence between the two of them in text messages, and the constant lies he told throughout the entire investigation. And they were proven to be lies with text messages and other testimony. We may never know what happened, but from what I heard today and over the last 4 or 5 days, it appears he intended to perform what he thought was a do-it-yourself abortion on Za'Niyah and went south, and instead of seeking medical attention for her, he intentionally killed her and tried his best to cover it up. As much as I want her to be alive today, there is at least probable cause to show and believe that she's dead and that she was murdered by Jarvis Butts. Mr. Butts, stand up. You've been sitting over there for 4 days with your head down, hidden between and behind your attorneys with your mask on and taking vigorous notes. I want you to pay attention and listen to everything I have to say. I have been trying to figure out for the last 5 days, you. At one point, I thought you were cognitively impaired in the beginning of this exam. And then maybe you had the brain of a 10-year-old, and that's why you were doing such things. But as I heard more and more testimony, you're just the true definition of a pedophile. Watching you laugh and brag about all the women you have with different women and the children and the girlfriends, and making babies to groom them, and having them in your presence, and cleaning up, quote, cleaning up your shop, and the little girls around you, has landed you here today. You groomed Za'Niyah. You played mind games with her. We all heard that. You controlled her emotionally. She was exposed to so much at such a young age. The text messages between you two were disgusting to hear. And to think that she had you saved in her phone as bae for life. Za'Niyah deserves so much more. And while I mentioned other people that failed her, Jarvis Butts, you are the monster in this whole picture. She did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored, she was neglected, and you took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. Your children deserve more. As much as defense counsel has raised issues on count 1, all that has done is raise the question of fact for the trier of fact, which means that this will be for a jury or a judge to hear in Third Circuit. I pray for the healing of all the victims and the young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. As a community, we should look at this case as a prime example of how much work we have to do when it comes to protecting our children and especially our black girls. I pray for closure and healing for all those who have been traumatized by you. And for you, Jarvis Butts, I wish you a speedy trial and that justice be delivered. Your bind over date is January 16th at 9 o'clock a.m.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all so much. If y'all would like to see more of this content, please let me know by leaving a comment as well as hitting the like button for me. I appreciate those likes. Also, I will be in Detroit. I'm actually from Detroit, if you guys don't know that. I'm from Detroit, so I will be flying to Detroit to be in court for this trial. Yes, I will be going home for it. So I'm going to try my best to bring front and center news, let y'all know what's going on as it's happening. And we're going to get in there, okay? All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, too, if you're not subscribed. Basically want to catch my supporters up on the case. We're going to use this last, few seconds in memory of Za'Niyah, and let's get justice for her.